Welcome to So Funny It Hurts. I'm your host, Michaela Gordon. Now, here's where we like to talk about the fucked up shit that happened to us that makes us funny. And I love when I get gorgeous, Italian, fabulous women. I've been waiting for this queen. Please welcome Justine Marino to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Michaela. It's such an honor to be here. You look so hot.
Thank you. You're so hot too.
I was like, I want to come on and just be hot with you.
That's all. I was like, I know that you're funny, like, thank God, but also just be hot on the show.
That's all I need.
That's all. Italian, hot. Those are the requirements.
That's my number one. When I go on stage, I'm like, as long as I look hot, who cares what I say?
Get into this.
Get into it. Yeah.
Wait, you are so hot. And I was so excited. I brought you meatballs because you're Italian, but then I fucked up because you're a vegan.
Well, you didn't fuck up. I fucked up because I'm vegan and Italian. That's on me. That's completely on me. So I appreciate my boyfriend will love the meatballs.
Okay, good.
He eats we're like opposite. He eats like everything, pork belly, like the most insane meats he goes for. So he'll love meatballs.
Okay, good.
And he will enjoy them for me. And normally, if I weren't such a vegan asshole, I would enjoy the meatballs.
No, I love that you're vegan. Listen, I was a vegan for like 6 months. And I really did it for more of the reasons of like animals. I felt so bad. My fiance, she was a vegan with me. She was so skinny. And then my mom looked at me and was like, "You're the fattest vegan I've ever met." And I was like, "Oh no!" I did. I was giving roly-poly.
Oh my God.
I ate so many fucking garbanzo beans and I was like, I'm sick of this shit.
Oh my God. That's hilarious because most vegans who are a little on the more roly-poly side are doing it because Oreos, French fries, but like garbanzo beans, that's impressive. Hummus. I fuck up
Those
hummus.
Mediterraneans try to fucking kill me.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, we'll fuck you up, man. Yeah,
I was like, this is not giving Greek goddess. Yeah. This is giving like pig Latin. Fuck, I was so sad. I was. And Lisa, my fiance, was like, so, you could barely see her. And I was like, I'm going to fucking break up with you.
I love it. Yeah, I mean,
vegans.
Vegan, you can, there's a spectrum, Like I said, French fries and Oreos are vegan. Like, they're cool vegans. I'm not a regular vegan. I'm a cool vegan. That's how I see it.
Okay, how'd you break it to your Italian family when it decided time?
It was a slow process. So first I would just I cut out, meat and just ate fish. And then I cut out fish and then I cut out dairy. And then they were like, wait, what's going on? I kind of snuck it in on them.
Okay, not a hard punch.
It was a transition. Yeah, it wasn't a hard punch. It was slow and steady.
It was like, I might be bisexual.
Yeah, exactly.
I might be a lesbian.
Exactly.
Trans.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was the way it goes. I can say that because I'm a lesbian. You can't cancel me. It's my community.
That's hysterical. And I went to all-girls school, so I've dabbled,
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, who hasn't?
Part of the community
who hasn't, Yeah, exactly. But I snuck it in on them, and they've accepted me and my veganism. Although my dad, he's the opposite. He's fucking, we'll go to order, and I'll be like, no cheese, no this, no that. And then my dad's like, give me all the cheese, all the fat. He'll just slaughter a veal in the back, put it on my plate live. I'll eat a live animal. He is very into letting people know that he does not subscribe to this lifestyle.
Right. Wait, what's your father's name?
Lenny.
Lenny. Where does Lenny live?
Actually, my parents live in Alabama now, which is so random. But they're East Coast originally. My dad's from Long Island, Oyster Bay.
Lenny is not living in Alabama, just looking for veal.
No, he's
I'm upset. Wait, I'm loving this. I'm trying to get the idea in my head. But Lenny,
I know.
I already like him.
Lenny's from Oyster Bay, and Lorna, my mom, Lorna and Lenny, she's from Boston. I know, they're fucking adorable. She's from Brockton, which is a little bit of a rough area in Boston, if you're familiar. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, where are you from?
I'm from Vegas.
You're from here?
I'm from here.
I love it.
But my parents are from Philadelphia.
Oh, amazing. So East Coast.
Yeah.
So you get it.
Yeah. Lorna and Lenny. Okay, I love that. So so they're living in Alabama.
Yes. I've come to accept it, just as they've come to accept me as a vegan.
And you guys are accepting of each other.
Yes, we are.
This is so nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm so happy that you're here because you're living in LA. But what I saw was that you were opening for John Lovitz.
Yes.
Fucking killing it.
Yes.
you were a tour guide at Universal Studios.
Yes, I was actually doing that at the same time because the John Lovitz Comedy Club was at Universal.
Right. That's right.
So I would go do the tour. I would do like 4 tours a day, and then I would run right up to the comedy club and host for John Lovitz. This was like my first year into stand-up. Luckily, so the manager of the club saw me and was like, "Oh, you should host every week," because John did a residency. And then this other amazing comedian, Ian Bagg, would feature. He's phenomenal. If you guys aren't familiar, definitely look him up on Instagram. He's incredible. All crowd work comedian. He's
I love that.
So funny. So yeah, the 3 of us would do a little show.
I love that. Okay, so I was there. I was a waitress at one of the restaurants that's no longer there.
R.I.P.
And I was in R.I.P. I think it was in 2009. So would I have seen you? I feel like we would have been friends.
Yeah, we would have been friends. And I definitely, because it was Saddle Ranch, right?
Yes.
Which Saddle Ranch, we used to go to Saddle Ranch. And
I served you.
You for sure served me an adios motherfucker. I know you did.
I know I did.
That bright blue trashy drink.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you
Friday
did.
nights.
Oh, Friday nights,
I remember it was when the song Apple Bottom Jeans.
Yes!
Blue with the fur. And I had those disgusting jeans and bandana on, and I had like 3 push-up bras on because I wanted big tits. And I'd bring out the adios motherfucker, and people would out.
Oh,
dead.
People, it's crazy. People would get down in like a glorified barn on City Walk. It was trash, and I loved it, and I miss those days.
I miss those days.
Yeah, I'm sad they closed it.
I know.
There is still a Saddle Ranch, thankfully, very close to where I live in West Hollywood. Yeah. So that one is alive and well and full of TikTokers these days.
Oh my God, listen, I love this stuff. Hate the fucking owner.
Yeah.
Rotten hell. But it was definitely a vibe. And you were the tour guide.
I was the tour guide at the park.
But I feel like that's like the gig to have.
It's funny because I went in and I was like, okay, I need to get a job. Universal, they have like characters, people who play different, like Marilyn Monroe, all these different characters. Let me go see if they're hiring. Because I came into LA as an actor and kind of fell into stand-up. And, I went to see if they were hiring characters. They were like, we're not, but they're doing tour guide auditions today. So I just happened to have my headshot in my car. I grabbed it. I got in line. I was like one of the last few people in line. Like 800 people showed up that day. Like, I guess it was a very coveted job.
It was a coveted position.
Yeah. And somehow I made it through all 4 callbacks and the training and the test. Like the levels of like getting to that job.
Is it like Disneyland hardcore?
It's hardcore for the tour guides. Like you have to memorize a book. They give this huge binder. I was about to say boner, which
also fair. You have to memorize a huge boner.
I actually
keep the people happy.
No joke. I did have a man once masturbate on my tour. So I did give people boners.
Don't slide over this. What the fuck?
I'll just say I was really good.
This is what I want to talk about.
Yeah, I was really good at my job.
What are you talking about? Okay, so you were like, hello, welcome to Universal Studios.
Yes, I was like, welcome to the world famous Universal Studios tour. My name's Justine. I'm about to lift the veil of secrecy on some of Hollywood's hottest filming locations. Thank you.
I feel like I'm there right now.
Yeah, you're there. I'm setting the scene. And then somewhere along the ride, in King Kong 360 3D.
Oh, very fucking fitting. King Kong
is where he started. I guess he's maybe an animal rights activist. I don't know. He just got really into the animals and he just started jerking it. And the funny thing is I didn't realize, because it was towards the end of my tenure there, because I was there for like 7 years. And it was like my last year there. I was so checked out. I could have done the tour in my sleep. So I'd be like texting on the tour. I'd be like, oh, here's Jaws, like, checking my Instagram. And this guy started masturbating. I didn't realize until the very end when like these people sitting next to him were like waving at me. And that's when I noticed. And so then I actually got in trouble for texting on the tour. The security guy ratted me out. He snitched on me.
That motherfucker.
And that guy, though, the masturbator, was an annual pass holder and apparently a repeat offender of like masturbating at theme parks. So
they let him come back after the first time? Come back.
Literally come back. I don't know. I feel like maybe this was the time he got caught or something. Like maybe the first time was at Disneyland.
Justine! So what happened? Were you just like, sir, can you get off?
So,
oh my God, everything is wrong. You can't say it.
So first, it's brought to my attention, and these people mouth he's masturbating, and in my mind, I'm like, no, you're a comic. You want it to be that he's masturbating because it'll be a great story.
It's a great fucking story.
It's not.
What's wrong with this?
I know.
Let so much trauma happen because I'm like, it's good for the story.
Yeah, no. I was like, no, get your comic filthy brain out of here. Like, there's no way this man is masturbating. And then they said it again, and I was like, oh my God. So I go to the driver and I'm like, hey, Troy, there's a man masturbating. Because there's no code 69, in case of masturbator, So I was like, but we were almost towards the end of the tour. Jimmy Fallon he used to do or I think he still does, the end song when you're pulling into the load line. He sang this song called Tramtastic Day. And that's when I figured it out. So as Jimmy's singing this really cheesy song, I'm trying to figure out how to get this guy not on the tram is what I'll say. I'm trying to avoid get off because he was doing that himself. But we pull in.
Or did you pull out?
He definitely pulled in. He pulled in. It's ripe for puns.
It's ripe for this.
It really is.
I know. It's just it's delivering itself.
Yeah, it really is. It really writes itself. But when the driver called it in and I heard dispatch, they laughed. I heard them laugh on the other end because it's just so ridiculous. Yeah. So we pull in and the manager's there and he pulls the guy off and he rips his annual pass off of his. The guy was wearing a lanyard with his annual pass on it.
Can you just give us a description of what the guy looks like? I need a visual.
He was maybe about 5'10", probably in his late 30s, early 40s. A slight man, looked like he wasn't, crushing with the ladies, I would say. Yeah, picture who you would think. Yeah, picture exactly who you would think would start masturbating in King Kong 360 3D. That is who it was. They banned him from the park. I mean,
but way to fucking sex shame him, poor guy.
I know. That's why I was like, I don't want to kink shame. I'm in such a hard place right now.
We're trying not to do cancel culture in 2014.
I know, right?
It's I don't want to. You just can't touch your dick.
Yeah, you can't pull your dick out on a children's ride, sir.
Oh my God. Okay, so was that the day that you decided maybe this wasn't for you anymore, or you were like,
no,
actually this is the day to stay?
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hold out 6 more months. I'm gonna give it. You know what's funny is around then I was doing stand up. I was opening for Joel McHale. I was opening for Bo Burnham at that time. I had just shot a special with Jenny McCarthy, an all-female special.
Yeah, what was it? Dirty,
Sexy, Funny.
Yes. Yeah, which is so fucking cool.
It's so cool.
And she was so great, man. I loved her.
I love her. She's so funny. I was such a fan of hers growing up. I thought she was hilarious. She was hot, but also dirty.
Totally.
And, yeah, she would fart into the microphone on her sketch show. I was like, this girl fucking gets it, right? And so, yeah, she showcased a bunch of female comedians in LA and I think New York and picked a few. Tiffany Haddish was one.
Oh, wow.
Before she really blew up. Yeah, so it was really cool. And we filmed it at the Hard Rock in 2013, just about 10 years ago. But I did that. At the time, I was still a tour guide. I did the tours the day before, and then I flew to Vegas.
But that's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
Comics, singers, actors.
Yep.
There's always multiple jobs.
Yes.
It's very rare. And then it's so exciting when you get to make that predominantly your career. Yes. But everybody, I've always had multiple. Even now I have multiple jobs.
Oh, totally. Me too. And now it's luckily, you're saying, your primary, what you want to do. And the tour guide, that was a really fun job. I'm so grateful. It was a great, environment and everything. Yeah. And I loved it. But yeah, about a couple months after that, because people would recognize me and I would talk about being a tour guide in my act and they'd be coming down the escalator to go on the tour and they'd be like, oh, you really are a tour guide. They thought it was a joke. So yeah, after that, I luckily had enough. We went on a tour with Jenny, that special toured, and then I had a bunch of colleges booked and then I booked a commercial. So then I was like, okay, bye, Universal. I'm going to say goodbye to the masturbators and all my fans.
Goodbye, masturbators.
Yeah, goodbye.
That's crazy that you opened up for Joel McHale, too, because I feel like just comedy at that time, we're talking, what'd you say, 2007 to 2014?
Yes.
It was just such a different time for comedy.
Yes, it was.
Did you feel like it was a better time? for women in comedy? Is it better now?
It's interesting. I would say it's better now. I think we have so many more women now, but back then we had a lot of great women. Whitney Cummings was huge for me when I started. I remember I saw her hosting a show at the Improv before she kind of blew up from Chelsea Lately. And I went up to her and I was like, you're amazing. Can I, she was like, email me, send, and she was like a mentor for me. Yeah. And I love Whitney. Chelsea was getting really big at that time. It was kind of peak Chelsea. So I got into it at a really good time. Tina Fey. So it was kind of right as women were really coming into the comedy scene in a really great way. Of course, there were always the legends, Phyllis Diller, Joan Rivers, that had been around, but really just more. And I love it. And even more so today.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so I always like to say, literally the reason I created this podcast is because somebody was like, you're so funny. And I was like, thanks, it's the trauma.
Yeah.
And it's just better than therapy. I would rather just laugh at all my fucked up shit. So I always find it interesting. Am I the only one that shares in that? Do all comics have trauma that makes them so funny?
Yes.
Like, what's the thing that makes you listen, looking at you, you're like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so funny. You're like the perfect woman.
Oh my God, bless you.
No, it's true.
I'll come here every week. I'll drive to Vegas for these compliments.
And you're welcome anytime you want. But what was it like growing up? How was it?
So I always say, I was a chubby kid. I was a 9-pound baby. So I am the only one. Yeah, I came out. I just blew my mom's vag right out, So she didn't have any more after me. And I came out and I had a full head of hair. I don't know if you're Italian, but
God.
Full head.
I had hair on my back, on my arms, everything.
I love it. I've lasered from my fucking neck down. I'm completely lasered. But it's so funny. My arms, I always joke, they used to look like Robin Williams' arms, and now they just look like a normal woman's arms.
Listen to me. I literally talk about this. I had Nikki Paris on last
Nikki.
week. We love Nikki.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, I literally had to make sure I shave. I'm doing laser everywhere.
Yeah.
But I still get a mustache and a beard. And I'm like, so, I guess I'm the fucking man in my relationship. There's a woman and it's Lisa.
Oh, I'm the man and the other person is a cis man in my relationship. And I'm still the man in my relationship. I'm way hairier than him. But yeah, I was hairy. I was chubby. I had braces and glasses. I was not the cute kid. I was the funny one with my friends, So I always joke that I was forced to develop a personality.
Yeah.
And so once I did kind of shed the weight and got contacts and got my braces off, I was still funny. And, I never really lost that. And I am glad, it was tough. Obviously, I did get teased for my weight as a kid.
Did you?
Yeah, as a little kid. Up until, God, I remember... Because then I went through I was a party girl in high school too. So I was
At an all-girls school?
At an all-girls school.
Oh my God. We're on Pornhub.
Yeah, no, it was
ideal situations.
Truly though.
She got hot, she started partying, she went to an all-girls school, she's funny.
I blew everyone. That was my move. My nickname was
my move too. I didn't have sex when I was 19, but I could give a blowjob. And I liked it.
I was 17, and when I had sex the first time in that basement, and I blew everyone. That was my move. I was like, I'm still a good girl.
I love so much that you said that was my move.
Yeah, it was. It was my move to the point where I don't know how dirty we can get, but it was called the Justine Special. That's the boys at the all boys school. I blew probably half the class of 02 at Regis Jesuit High School. I'll just say that.
Wait, that's an honor. And did they just say, hello, may I have the Justine Special? Listen, we're going to put that at the fucking Peppermill.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll put that on the 7,000 million item.
Yeah, tonight. That's going on the menu for sure. No, it was just funny. I would just drink a lot, and then I was just like, yeah, I'll blow him, Why not? It'll make a good story. It's funny because, my life was always a series of this will be a funny story. It was I was preparing to do stand-up.
I swear to God, I've never related to something more.
Yeah, right?
The most fucked up shit. And I'm like, It'll be such a good story.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got hot and slutty, and, my weight did fluctuate though in high school. I had a thicker phase, and then I had some like eating disorder stuff. And so I was really up and down with the weight stuff, just because also I was like binge drinking Coors Light and, Krispy Kremes, like just hand over
high
fist.
school is a fucking crazy. I think every woman that had an eating disorder. I mean, I don't know how extensive it went.
Yeah.
I know I did as well. The girls that I was friends with. And then also, we were like drinking beer, which was awful, eating like In-N-Out, which was like Krispy Kreme here, and just like trying to find that balance. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. And actually, when I first started stand-up, I was I was probably like 20 pounds lighter than I am now. I was like very underweight, really in the throes of like bad eating disorder stuff. And it was actually, I went to a lot of therapy, outpatient stuff, but then it really was talking about it in stand-up that helped me get over it, and making jokes about it and laughing about it. It kind of took the power out of it for me. And also just kind of saying it out loud to other people and having other people relate to it and be like, oh, I'm not the only one who feels this way, gets weird with food, is obsessive in that way. It was actually, I think, the thing that really pulled me out of it.
It was like more therapeutic.
Yeah, absolutely. Than the actual therapy I was going to and paying a lot of money for. So
did nothing.
Yeah.
And the comedy was great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I always feel that way. I feel like, the world is so heavy already anyway. And I think that that's always been my coping mechanism too. Like, I grew up in a really rough household. And so I knew that making people laugh was like my thing to get like and earn love, which I always talk about. But then talking about it, when I did do stand-up, I don't anymore. I found it was like, first of all, it's so fucking hard. I hope that people really understand, like, being a stand-up comic is fucking hard.
Yeah.
And when you're so great at it, you deserve all the kudos.
Thank you.
So the kudos. But also like cancel culture and all that shit's so intense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And but being able to talk about it or do sketches, it takes so much weight out of the dysfunction or the unhealthy things that we sort of naturally go through.
Oh, absolutely. And I remember growing up, I was an only child. My parents both worked, and, I had a great childhood, but of course it was like a normal childhood. There were fights and that kind of thing. And then we'd make up, and my parents are still together today, and I love them so much. But also, we're all kind of addicts. My parents are both sober. So it's like, so we still have that, we all have that kind of like addictive, intense personality.
Yeah, same.
So growing up, I watched a lot of TV, and it was like sitcoms and funny movies and stuff that would just make fun of kind of serious situations and make me feel less alone. So I don't know, at some point made that my mission. Like, I want to give people the same comfort that was given to me when I would kind of watch these movies and TV shows.
I love that so much. I know. I feel like a lot of Roseanne was like my family growing up.
Yeah.
And I come from addicts. And so, even with me, I've had to like really throughout the years, I have a very addictive personality. And it's very like all in or all out. And you're like, bitch, take a fucking breath, sis.
There's like no gray area. I'm black or white.
I'm eating it all or I'm never eating.
Exactly.
I'm drinking it all or I'm not,
Absolutely.
Do you feel like that's played a part as you've gotten older? Have you found a good balance with that?
I have found a really good balance. And I'll just say, like, I'm so intense, and I think that's what helped me with stand-up is first, like I said, Whitney, the first thing she said to me, she goes, go do any mic or show that you can do. She was like, hone your voice. Don't worry about getting an agent or manager. Just go do what you can do. They will find you, when you're ready. And that's exactly what I did and what happened. All of my reps came from me doing shows and being seen and stuff. And I was never really chasing managers or agents in that way, which I'm so grateful to her for giving me that advice. I've given it to younger comics who have asked me about stuff as well, but I attacked it really like an addict. I would do like 4 or 5 sets a night in LA where you're driving. Like New York, it's easy to do that. That's like a normal night for them. But in LA, it's harder. There aren't as many spots and they're really far apart. So I was crazy. Actually, people thought my nickname, The Machine, Justine the Machine, came from how crazy I was with just like the intensity that I attacked stand-up with. It actually was just how much beer I drank in high school was where that nickname came from. But
Justine Special and Justine the Machine.
Exactly. But yeah, so I find that I try to channel it into positive stuff now rather than just like over-exercising or obsessing in a, negative way. I like to channel it into something that'll be good for me in the long run.
I think that's such good advice. I do. I feel like having an addictive personality, like for me, it has gone to the negative, but when I can focus it on work or things that are good and positive, it's always benefited me so deeply. Yeah. And I love that Whitney gave you that advice. And it's good advice. It's good advice for anybody,
It's very good. I mean, even just think about when you're dating, you don't want to be like chasing the person. You want to kind of have this allure that attracts them, you know? So I feel like that's the kind of energy, because everyone wants something that there's like an attraction in not needing it, and not being needy. Yeah. And I think that that's the difference between someone who's like sending out headshots, making calls, trying to get an agent, and people get reps and stuff and get into these doors, that way as well. But I do think there's a power in like letting them come to you.
Well, and it's exhausting chasing it. Yes. I mean, you really do wear yourself out. And especially in the years that we were in LA, it was fucking crazy. Like, they were like cattle calls. I feel like now being an actor in LA, aside from the writer's strike, like, those people don't understand at all. Like, we weren't doing, and I feel like they also have a disadvantage. Like, they don't get to work their room anymore. Everything's over Zoom.
Oh, it's crazy.
But it was a hustle.
Yeah, it was a hustle. Now it's a different kind of hustle. Now it's like you guys basically do all the work of the casting director as well. Like, find a reader, edit it, put it on tape, light it correctly, all this stuff, turn it around within like 5 to 12 hours sometimes. So it's a different kind of hustle. But yeah, I'm sure you went through the carrying a change of clothes and driving to Santa Monica for a 4:00 audition. Like,
listen to me, 19-year-old me is so fucking pissed right now. I had this, what did I drive? A Saab.
Oh, and I
loved that fucking Saab. And I would only play the Janis Joplin tape. It was still a tape. And I literally thought I was Janis. First of all, I was like such a method actor through and through. It was unnecessary. Like, I remember one time I was going through a breakup and I went into casting and they were like, "Are you doing okay?" And I was like, why am I even admitting this? I would have never told this story. I was like, I'm really going through it right now, and I'm going through a breakup. And they were like, "Okay, well, do you want to read?" And I was like, I guess I will. Like, who the fuck was I, Gaga? Like, shut the fuck up. I knew then. I was like, maybe this isn't like, the acting isn't for you, mommy, because you're like taking it very, I was smoking at the time, so I was like, very in character.
Yes.
But it was such a crazy time.
It was a crazy time. Yeah, it's still crazy in a very different way.
In a totally different way.
Yeah.
Okay, I always like to ask this question because I do think it's so helpful for people and for me and anybody listening. Do you remember, obviously you're killing it now, so this is why I asked.
Thank you.
Do you remember a time where you like bombed on stage?
Oh, of course. Like, that's part of the process. I've been doing stand-up now for 15 years, and when I started, I did get a good response with this pre-written material that I had, worked and worked and worked before the first time I ever stepped foot on stage. But then when I started trying to do new material, sometimes it would bomb, especially like open mics. You bomb there for the first several years, especially because, no one's there to really see. It's usually at a coffee shop or a restaurant, and the patrons are not aware that there's this comedy open mic happening. So you're kind of like sneak attacking them with your jokes. So it's filled with people who didn't ask for this and other open micers who are worried about their set, thinking about their set, waiting for when they're going to get up, thinking about that. So I always say, like, if you get like a tiny bit of chuckle at an open mic, like, that's a really good bit, probably, because those rooms are hard,
Listen, I feel like I did a room. It was the short time that I did it, and I didn't know that most of the people in the room were also comics just trying to work out their new material. Yeah. And so I went in and I did a couple jokes, and nobody laughed, nothing. But nobody like prepares you for that. Yeah. So I was like, I'm not funny at all, and not realizing like people are just there working out their own fucking material, their own shit.
That's the thing the thing in LA is most people are just self-centered and thinking about themselves. It's so rarely personal, you know? Yeah.
Okay, but also you went to school at Groundlings.
Yes, I did.
Which must have been such an amazing experience.
It was really great.
Because I feel like anybody that's ever wanted to do SNL, anything, like that's where you go.
Yeah. So like I said, I came to LA. My dad was a producer. He was doing some work for Disney. And so my whole family came out just for the summer when I was in college, when I was 20. And I was taking these really serious acting classes. And I just didn't feel like I belonged. Like they'd be like, what's everyone's favorite movie? And everyone would be like, just these very dramatic, The English Patient, or just these heavy dramas. And I'd be like, Bad Santa is my favorite, So I was like, I don't think I'm in the right place right now. Yeah, I love Bad Santa.
It's a good fucking film.
It's great. I love it. But then, when I decided to stay after the summer was over, I decided to look into Groundlings because I loved Will Ferrell. And like I said, all the movies and TV shows I grew up watching and really enjoying the most were comedies. So someone was like, you should try Groundlings. So I auditioned and I got right into the program. And the rest is history.
Which is amazing because I feel like people need to understand that it's very difficult to get into Groundlings.
Yeah, it's hard.
Probably not as difficult to become a universal tour guide with the fucking binder to remember and boners to deal with, but equally as hard.
Similar, yes, definitely. And Groundlings is very, it's intense. It's definitely the most, I think, hardcore of all the improv schools because after each level, you audition to get into the school. And I had an acting background and had done a little bit of improv, which I think helped me get in. But I had to take the first level like 3 times. Like they really drill in and want you to be ready for those next levels because then when you get up to the writing levels, 3 and 4, it's really you take the class once and you either pass and move on or you're like cut basically. So it's hardcore. And actually when I was waiting, because back then, Will Ferrell was huge. It was like, in my opinion, peak SNL with like Sherry O'Terry, Chris Kattan, all those people, Kristen Wiig. A lot of them had gone to Groundlings, so it had really gotten very popular. So the wait lists for the upper divisions were like a year and a half long. So I was just waiting for level 3, and someone suggested I try stand-up, and I was like, I never really thought about it, but sure. And I tried it, and it was just like a natural fit. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to go back to Groundlings.
Wow.
Yeah, because Groundlings is very character-based. It's very like I'm saying, Will Ferrell, Sherry O'Terry, these big characters, which is not really me. I can do it, but it's not where I feel my most comfortable and most natural. I kind of like to be myself and say the sarcastic thing and be dry. So that's why when I, stepped into stand-up, it just felt like a really natural fit for me.
Well, I feel like that's when people, and I'm sure you hear this on the daily. Actually, my friend, Katie Crizzola.
Yes, I love Katie.
I love Katie so much. She was one of the first people that I ever met, and she gave me my first pair of Louboutins. They were hers, and I was like, I've always wanted a pair, but I went.
Oh my God!
And she gave me a pair of hers. I fucking love Katie.
That's a good friend.
I know. She was like a good big sis.
Yes.
She had just come. Remember when she did on the TV Guide channel? She did the nail show.
Yes.
And she was at the W. She had her nail show. That's where I met her, and I was like, I'm such a big fan of yours. I love you. And then she was so cute. We became friends. But she always says it best, like how annoying it is when people are like, oh, yeah. Like after shows, people are like, oh, yeah, people say I'm funny all the time. Like I should do stand-up.
Yes.
And you're like, everybody who's funny should do stand-up.
Yeah, that is so true. There are a lot of funny people who should definitely not do stand-up. It really is a different skill set. For sure.
I couldn't imagine Will Ferrell doing stand-up. Like he's so he could do anything. He's really the funniest. That's not a good example. But
you're right. He with character work, you're kind of behind the mask of the character. Stand up, you're more naked. It's like these are your thoughts and what you feel, unless you're doing like a character and that's your shtick. But yeah, for the most part, it's just you're saying what you think is funny and hoping that other people agree with you.
Yeah. And it's so fucking vulnerable.
Yeah, it is vulnerable.
It's intense. All right, so you're doing a show tonight, last night and tonight. You did.
Yes.
If this airs differently, which it will, however.
Yes.
Where are you this month?
Oh, okay. So, well, tonight it's been wonderful in Vegas. I just want to say
have you done Vegas a lot?
I've only done Vegas. But prior to this trip where I'm at the Comedy Cabaret at the Westgate Resort and Casino, which
I love the Westgate.
I love it.
You know who owns the Westgate?
Who?
I don't know if you'll know this. Okay, give me a second. You know, did you ever see the show? I think it was on HBO Max, The Queen of Versailles.
Yes.
You know, her and her husband owned the Westgate.
What?
The one that looks like Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh my God.
She's that bitch.
I love it.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I know the Westgate, because I love this fucking psychopath.
I love it so much. It's like it's very old-timey feeling, like Elvis. That was where he had his residency back when it was the Flamingo or whatever. I don't know. There's a huge statue of Elvis when you walk in that I've taken a million pictures with already. But it's really not, everyone's been there for like 20 years. The staff's great. I love this hotel. I'm into it, especially because I was here 2 weeks ago for Beyonce.
Okay, wait. That's what okay. We're going to talk about these shows, and then we're talking Beyonce, because that fit was fucking it, honey.
Thank you.
We're talking about the outfit, and I'll make sure we pull it up in editing.
Thank you so much.
Look like a fucking queen.
Thank you. God, I love you so much.
It was good.
Thank you. But yes, these shows, I was at Beyonce, and the hotel, we stayed there. You know, I don't want to blast anyone. I'll tell you off air.
Blast
but
them.
The link, I didn't love it.
Oh, I know.
And Jacqueline warned us, but the deal was so good.
I know. It's like staying at the Excalibur. Like, you want the deal.
Yeah, the deal. And then we get there and it's just...
I know.
It was clean. The room was clean. We knew we weren't going to be there a ton because we came with...
Well, that's why you say, you're like, I'm going to not even ever be in my room.
That's exactly.
So I'll pay $7 for a bed.
1,000%. That's what it was. And we were coming with RJ, our other... You know, I'm friends with RJ.
Yeah.
So we were coming with him, and
I love RJ.
He's the best. He loves you too. He's always like, I will. He's obsessed with you. I was like, I'm doing our podcast when I go to Vegas.
Oh, I love RJ.
Yeah, I love him.
We got to do a Vegas trip.
Yeah, we should.
Not podcast Beyonce, like all of us.
Fun.
Because I fucking love Jacqueline and RJ.
That would be a blast. And RJ he's a planner though. I'm going to tell you. So that's why.
Thank God someone is. I'm so chaotic.
Yeah, same. So the itinerary was like stacked. So that's why we were like, we won't be in the room at all. But it's just been night and day at the Westgate versus the Link, where you cannot, you're like, hey, do you work here? The people are annoyed if you ask them like where the front desk is. There is no front desk. It feels like crazy. Everything's virtual. Like there's no help.
Yeah.
I feel like no one works there.
Yeah. No, they've got the fucking, we went there the other day because Jimmy Kimmel's is in there.
Oh.
So we went to see Josh Wolf, his comedy show.
Nice.
So we were going in the Link, and it has, I've never seen this. You can do, what's it called? Vending machines.
The little kiosk.
Kiosk and vending, and you get
like
like a piece of cake or a piece of pizza.
Oh, the piece of pizza.
Did you see that?
I saw that, but also, yes, but like no one, even when you check in, it was like, you put in your shit and it spits out your cards, and Guy Fieri is on your key card. And I'm just like, what's happening right now?
Guy Fieri's the one giving you the pizza and the fucking cake. Guy's got a good fucking deal. Guy is the owner of the Link.
Guy must own the Link. And again, I'll say it was clean. It was just, I prefer somewhere where I can ask someone where I'm going, you know, like, and I can get a human to tell me, because I'm like looking at maps. It's because casinos, you live here, so you're probably used to it. It's easy to get lost. I'm like, where the fuck am I? There's like a Sex and the City slot machine here. What's going on? There's one just called The Boar. Like, what's happening?
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So anyway, I did the Comedy Cabaret at Westgate last night. It was fantastic. The crowd was so wonderful. I have another show tonight. And then at the end of the month, I'm in Denver at the Comedy Works, September 27th, and then October 1st as well. And then I've got a bunch of other shows coming up.
We love Denver.
I'm from Denver.
Shut the fuck up.
Did you not know that?
No, and I love Denver, except I went there for a Pride. Okay. I was singing at the Pride, and I was drinking, and I didn't know the air was different.
Well, the altitude will fuck you.
The air. The altitude. And I was on one of those fucking, you know, the guy that rides you on the moped?
Yes, I love those guys.
I did it, and I loved it, and then all of a sudden I was getting lightheaded. I was like, Lisa, I think I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well, also some people need oxygen when they like perform there, especially if they go up to the mountains. I haven't been in the mountains in years. I had a show in Breckenridge a couple years ago, and I got lightheaded up there. Just because the altitude is so crazy.
It's crazy, but it's so beautiful.
It's gorgeous. I go to Denver a lot. So yeah, it's nice to go home and get to do some shows at the Comedy Works, which is a really, really fun club.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk, because I don't want you to leave that before I was talking about this.
Okay.
So you came and did Beyonce.
Yes, I came into Beyonce. I also did Magic Mike for the second time, and Jacqueline had someone pull me on stage, and it was...
Let's get to the goods. Let's get to the goods.
Wearing a pink Skims catsuit, and I was...
Oh my God. How are we not talking about your fucking Skims episodes? These are the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in my life, and the most realistic
Thank you so much.
I swear to God, every episode I lose my mind.
Thank you.
For the people that may not understand, can you just explain that very quickly?
So I personally have an obsession with Skims. I have an addictive personality.
Listen, I'm a Kim Kardashian girl. I've said it.
Yeah,
I don't like to admit it, but I am.
You get it. And whatever. She makes a good product. Whether or not you are a fan of her personally, she makes
your body's
good
going to
clothes.
look...
Yeah, your body's going to look incredible in it. So I bought this latex skirt, and I was like, oh, I'll wear this and look really hot tonight. And I could not get this fucking thing on. It's like a tire. Like, it's not latex. Like it's full on like I'm wearing a tire meets a condom. Like, that's what this is. And the sounds are awful. And I'm like, my boyfriend was like, you need to do a sketch or something about this. Because he was just looking at me like, this is ridiculous. How are you going to fucking pee later?
Yeah,
you know? He's like,
it's
I'm
awful.
not. Yeah, exactly. I'd like walk by a doorknob and press up against it, and it like squeaked. It sounded like it was honking a horn. Like, it was crazy. So I do this character called Lena Dispersa. It's part of this this web series that my friend Adriano created called How to Do Shit with Guido Gagoots, and now kind of all the characters within this universe.
It's the best. And if you're Italian,
you'll get it.
You really get it. It's so funny.
Absolutely. So Lena now has gotten her own spin-off show. It's a dating show. So I thought it would be hilarious. I was like, we've got to do something with this skirt. Lena's got to try to wear this on a date. And so far we are, I believe, 5 episodes in, and she has not gotten the skirt on yet.
It's so funny to me. And it's like the people that come in to help her, like some of your family,
my therapist,
priest.
the priest.
It's the best.
Yep.
It's so funny.
Yeah, we've got, I think, 2 or 3 more to drop. And yeah, they're all, there's a real arc to it, let me tell you.
I love it. I can't get enough. Okay, so you wear your pink Skims to Magic Mike.
I get pulled on stage. I don't know, like, this guy hoists me up on him. I'm like straddling him. He lays me down, puts his face in my vag, like pumps me a few times, then gets up. There's another man.
Did you enjoy it a little bit, or it was a lot?
A lot. I enjoyed it a lot. Like, I'm no longer allowed at Magic
That's
Mike.
what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, it was great. It was fantastic. Also, my boyfriend, I just want to say, is so
She
cool.
hated it. She hated it.
I hated it.
She didn't like anything.
No, he's so sweet. He just thinks, he's like, you're ridiculous. We've been together for 10 years. So
it
he's
doesn't
like,
matter.
I get it, you know. But yeah, it was really funny. And then he and the other guy on stage switched places and high-fived on the way. And I was like, am I in a gangbang right now? What is happening? So it was very funny. I highly recommend. Our friend Jacqueline is the MC.
Jacqueline's the best.
She's so good at it.
She's another one. Beautiful, funny, talented,
Love her.
so sweet.
Love her. I've known her forever.
She's the best. I met her when she did the podcast a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And now I feel like she's a big sister. Anything that I have a million questions all the time. I'm like, can you sell it?
Yeah, no, she's great. I love her, and she's good people, and she's the best. And she got me pumped and dumped on the
And
Magic
that's what's
Mike's.
important.
And this will lead into Beyonce, because then afterward in the casino, everyone recognized me from the show.
You're
and
getting more high fives.
More high fives, more gangbangs. The next night at Beyonce at fucking Allegiant Stadium.
Stop.
I go to my seats. The girls behind me are like, were you in a show last night?
Stop!
I was like, they were like, were you in Magic Mike Live last night? And I was like, yes, I was. People thought I was part of the show. I think it's because I was wearing a cat
honor.
suit. It was an honor. I
know your style's sickening.
Thank you so much. I love a cat suit.
Love a cat suit.
Yeah. And then for Beyonce, you know, it's funny. Thank you for complimenting that outfit. That week, I picked out a purple outfit. I had it planned for months.
Yeah.
Wanted to go alien superstar vibes. That week, she says to everyone, please wear chrome to my concert.
I saw that.
So I freaked out because I'm type A. I'm the machine. I'm planning ahead.
What sign are you?
Aries. With a Scorpio moon. So
Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising.
yeah. So watch out.
Okay, we're intense.
Yeah. Very intense.
Good
So,
friends.
yeah, we
Thank
are.
God someone's planning fucking something.
I know, exactly. Yeah, so I planned it, and then she drops this on, and then I'm like panic shopping here at the Show Mall, and I got swindled at the kiosk to get cell phone
those
cases.
fucking kiosks.
I know.
And then also you're in Vegas, so you're like, I'm on vacation, I can buy it. You never fucking need
Well,
it.
also I was like, oh, a charging case would be good. I get back to the hotel, it literally doesn't work. I know. I got my money back. Oddly enough, the Wells Fargo guy, the same thing happened to his wife. She came to Vegas for Beyonce. Like crazy synchronicity. It was insane. I got my money back.
Wait, this is a good Beyonce story.
Right?
So you're at the fashion show mall. You get a portable charger.
Yeah.
You leave. You get to your room that you hate.
That I hate. I don't.
That Guy Fieri owns. You realize this motherfucking thing doesn't work.
And I haven't
You go
charged.
to Wells Fargo?
No, I called Wells Fargo later. There was no time to call Wells Fargo.
No, because Beyonce was hitting the stage.
I
with
literally
Blue
was
Ivy.
at 10%. Thank God Jacqueline had charged her phone because I was at 10% for all of Beyonce because these motherfuckers, I was like, oh, I can put it in the case. We'll be all good. But anyway, there was no silver. All the chrome was sold out because everyone was in town for Beyonce. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear my original purple outfit, which was a Skims. It was actually all swimwear. It was a Skims monokini, this purple one that looked very like Fifth Element kind of with like the high neck. And it was like strappy. And then I got these sheer rhinestone purple pants and wore this like shimmery purple cowboy hat. And I'm very glad I wore it.
You looked amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. And, you know, I didn't follow the queen's orders, but I did follow the machine's orders.
And that's what's most important.
Exactly.
What was your favorite moment of Beyonce? I didn't get to go.
Oh, I love Energy. Alien Superstar is my favorite song, but actually Girls. Girls was really good.
Was the energy sick?
The energy was unlike any other. I went to Beyonce and Jay-Z in 2018. It was a life-changing experience. This was as well. Like if you ever get to see Beyonce, it really is. She does 2.5 hours, no opener, just like hit after hit.
It was like the fucking Homecoming at Coachella when she just like went hard.
Yeah, she goes hard, and it's crazy because her choreographer actually worked on my dance show, the funny dance show that was on E, and so we randomly.
Oh my God, that's right, the funny dance show.
Oh yeah,
because didn't Justin Martindale do that?
Yeah, he was a judge,
and I love Justin Martindale.
Yeah, he was hilarious on it. Yeah, I know it was just one season, but you know what can you do?
But it was great.
It was great. It was fun, and I got to work with Beyonce's choreographer, which is hilarious because I like to dance, but I'm no Beyonce on the dance floor.
Show us a move.
Really?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Okay, what do you?
Okay, I'll vibe you. Listen, I'll fucking give you anything right now.
Vibe me.
I'm obsessed with dancers.
Vibe me.
Okay, don't do this. Don't do. I'll give you Beyonce right now. Oh. Chase, we are going to end this interview, but I need. Oh my God. Okay, just you fucking warm up, icon. Woo! She's coming in. Okay.
Ooh.
All right, we're at Beyonce. You just wait. Let me pause it. Wait, let me set the tone. Let me set the phone.
Okay.
All right.
Paint the picture.
You have a working charger.
Okay, great. Oh my God.
You never had to deal with Wells Fargo. Magic Mike double penetrated with their high fives.
Yes.
You're the star. It's now called Magic Machine.
Yes.
You get to Beyonce. She says, take over for Blue Ivy. Okay. I hate Blue. I want Justine.
Leave the dance floor. The DJ booth
God damn it, I'm at Beyonce.
Test of the entire system.
What?
I'm one of one. I'm number one.
Justine, fuck, stand up.
Only one. Don't even.
Oh, shit! Honestly,
thank you for letting me show
stand-up comedy.
I know exactly. I'll become a professional dancer. Thank you for letting me show off my true talent, which is a professional dancer.
Listen to me, because that's more important. If you like to dance, my niece, she's a Virgo.
Yeah.
She's 7.
Yeah.
I love this stupid bitch more than I can't get everything she does. I'm like, it's brilliant. It's perfect. Yeah. But she started doing this thing where she has dance-offs now.
I love a dance-off.
And it doesn't matter where we're at, who we're with. Mm-hmm. She will do her moves, and she's very fucking sassy.
Yeah.
I've never actually been more proud of anyone in my life.
I'm so into it.
And then she'll do this.
Yes, bitch!
And you're like, oh, it's my turn. And then you have to do it back to her. But most of the time she cuts you off because it's really her,
about her
world and we're just living in it.
Yes.
She takes back her power and physically will take it back.
Oh,
and we're like, oh, sorry, fucking you sorceress bitch. And then she starts going again. It's
How
my
old is
favorite
she?
thing. 7.
Oh my God. Oh, by the way,
just turned 7.
I'm winded from that 25 seconds.
Well, you just gave everything you had.
I really did.
Honestly, that's fine because we got to end the show now because you got to do your stand-up show.
This was so fun. Thank you for having me.
You are literally one of my favorite people. I cannot wait
Same.
to do your podcast because you also have your own podcast.
Oh, I do. Glitter and Garbage. I'm going to have you on in a few weeks.
I can't wait.
October.
It's amazing.
Listen for it. Yeah, it's really fun. Pop culture podcast on Bill Burr's All Things Comedy Network.
You're so great. I love you. Thank you for Beyonce dancing for us.
Of course.
And I'm sorry about you, Meatball Vegan.
No, my boyfriend's going to be so happy this all worked out this way. You're the best.
You're the best. Goodbye.
Mwah.
So Funny It Hurts is brought to you by Pacific West Injury Law. Got into an accident? Contact Pacific West Injury Law. Also, there's nothing better for your mental health than a great workout. And our episode is brought to you by Fit Club, the only place to be. It's so funny, it hurts.